Hi, anyone. We are high up. How are you guys doing this week? We're just gonna let everything load in as we appreciate the weirdo view. Okay, let's get going. Let's do it up. So, this week, what we are going to do is our favorite thing, which is mining more netherrack. So, hopefully, we get a lot of it mined. And whether or not we do, this is probably a skippable episode for you. I'm gonna be yammering. We are gonna be mining. I don't think anything of consequence is gonna happen. And then hopefully very soon we can get back to placing netherrack, and hopefully very soon we can be done with that completely. And then move on to adding lava and fire and landmarks to this weird little area we've made. Because it is kind of neat, it is very different. But it's not neat enough, and it does need an adjustment. That being said, how are you guys doing this week? Are you having a good week? Doing your best? Sticking with it? Oh, you know what I should have done? We should have gotten rid of all our stuff. Also, we went too far down. There we go. Oh well. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, hopefully you guys are having a good week. I don't know. I am ambivalent on what kind of week I had, and then could always be a lot better. I guess is kind of my feelings on the subject. And I suppose we could also be, it could also be a lot worse. But it could always be a lot better, Kind of my attitude, kind of my feelings on the whole subject. Or at least until today, when apparently we bombed a foreign nation. And, it's an enemy nation, it's whatever. But, I don't know. Not a good look. So, yeah, it's kind of weird. To take a bath or make dinner and then come back and it's like, oh yeah. The President of the United States has okayed a pretty wild thing. I don't know. There's a part of me that wonders if maybe it's the anti-war people, though, who are totally absurd. And I know that's kind of a wild thing to say. Absolutely depraved and unhinged. But, does anybody really deserve peace? We openly talk about, well, a random country deserves to be bombed. I remember in the early 2000s when we went into the Middle East, and it was not that uncommon to hear adult people talking about how, yeah, we should just, I don't understand why we're sending troops over there. We should just nuke them. And the amount of people, adult people with jobs and families who don't understand the consequences of using a nuclear weapon on countries, period, just using a nuke on, places where people live. Wild. I don't know. I don't know how you can take a moral stand about unprovoked war, I guess, is, yeah, I don't know. And I mean, the talking point is always going to be, well, they were making a nuke, and we can't let them have nukes. And it's like, well, like, big picture, all that's really going to be seen by other countries is if you don't have nukes, the big countries get to bully you. And the bullying in question is you get to be bombed without without any course of retaliation, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, that's current events. I got out of a bathtub and learned about that. So yeah, weird. I don't like living in unprecedented times. Say what you will about like a lot of different people, but you know, I appreciated having a president that didn't cause a ruckus every time you look away. It's like having a naughty puppy. Anytime he's not in the crate, anytime he's not locked up or on a chain, he's just tearing things apart. He doesn't know why he does it. He just does it because something in his little doggy head told him to do it. I don't know. But yeah, back to the mindless distractions though. Like, let's stop talking about serious stuff, especially when we haven't even seen the ramifications. I could be talking out of my butt. Maybe nothing happens. Maybe we don't go to war. Maybe no nukes are launched. Maybe everybody just chills for the next... Hopefully for the next eternity. That'd be nice. The thing is, that's a really long time, and human people just can't be cool about things that long. Much less any amount of time that humans can actually process. I don't know. We'll see. Like, I would like it if this turned out to be a nothing burger. It's not. Like, bombs were dropped. Missiles launched. Tensions raised, but we'll see. I don't know. You never know. It's always been a weird time. And nothing would be weirder than a country responding with its own sovereignty defiled and its lands bombed with a blasé attitude, completely ignoring the aggression. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, back to the mindless, pointless stuff. I want to talk about... What did I want to talk about? That is a great question. I actually don't remember. I had something. Oh, the new episode of The Amazing Digital Circus is out. That's a cool thing. Definitely like the new episode a lot. I can't wait to see where it goes from here. Is kind of my attitude. My attitude throughout the entire thing is, ever since the pilot, they've kind of who's going to abstract is my question. And my gut feeling is Ragatha. But in my heart, it's gonna be Kinger. One of them has to. Or maybe they all do. Maybe everybody abstracts, other than Pomni, and so he gets to be the new Kinger for a new generation of people who find themselves in the digital realm. I'm usually really bad at predicting, like, story beats for, like, stories, though. So my prediction is everybody in The Amazing Digital Circus is an AI. That there are no humans attached to machines. It just makes a copy of people. It'd be funny if it doesn't even make a copy of people. It makes AIs that believe they've been attached, that they like put on like a VR headset in the real world, and now they can't. Like that would be so messed up. Like instead of it like they're copies of real people and digital avatars, it just makes digital avatars that believe they're real people because nobody's playing this game. Like it's a the whole point of the circus is like it's a it's a dead AI run MMO, or it's a defunct one that never like got off the ground. So you just have like the overseer Kane just kind of doing whatever he can, and the game just keeps making more and more avatars, just so it has like 6 people, or has its set number of players. Is it 6? There's a Pomni. There's Pomni, Jax, Kinger, Zubul, Ragatha, and I wasn't counting. I can't count and list their names. So I think it's 6. I think that's 6, right? But yeah, what a messed up story. No matter what happens, it's gonna be messed up. Considering that the the creator of the series, Gooseworks, has openly stated that it's based off of or inspired by I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. Like, the existential darkness is there just from the start. Even if it's full of, like, Gooseworks, like, patented, irrelevant... Like, it's not even humor, it's just, like, a very offbeat kind of way of presenting things that is funny. I don't know how to describe it. Gooseworks is a genius, though, at what he does. It's really wild to think that somebody I started following in like 2013, or was it 2012? It was early though. I was in college. But yeah, back in the day, making Banjo-Kazooie covers and their own original like OC work, making a show. That's wild. That's amazing. It's always cool when someone succeeds. Or when, like, an artist grows in a, like, really positive way. That's really cool. Oh, yeah. I don't know, like, Deltarune's kind of the same way with, like, Toby Fox, you know? He used to be the guy living in Andrew Hussy's basement making songs for Homestuck, and then now he's got credits for 2 games that he's developed himself. He's made a few, well, originally he just made, like, you know, the Earthbound mods and whatever. And he's got a lot of music credits for other games. Like, Nintendo just keeps pulling him back in to work on their game music, which is awesome. And other games too. He's made a lot of friendships with game devs all over the world. Like, he is definitely rightfully blowing up, and that's awesome. And really, the only thing like negative about him is like he's so big. Like he's a hard act to follow. Like he kind of feels that way, I guess it sounds like in some of his interviews. That his biggest concern is like the effect he has on the indie scene and people trying to like be him or realizing they're never going to be him, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, just make games if you want to. Don't worry about your inspirations. List them if you got them. Talk about them. Rave about them. Like, yeah, let people know like you love stuff. Show a new generation like the old things. I love Metabots. I don't think I'll ever watch Metabots again. I would love to own... Well, the dumb thing with Metabots is they re-released the dub and the sub, but they're separate like DVD volumes, and it's like I'm not gonna spend like $200 on what 4 or 5 different DVD set or Blu-ray sets so I can watch a show that's probably gonna make me cringe really bad. I feel the way about Digimon. I love Digimon. It inspired so much of a lot of my daydreams as a kid, and like just like what kind of fantasies I'd like to have, you know, just donking around with your magical little buddy. But at the same time, the dub is very painful at times. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see where all these things go. Like, Deltarune is pretty wild. It's blowing up. I mean, it's always been blown up. It's... we get a new chapter, and we got 2 chapters this time, actually, so that's cool. I haven't played them yet, so no spoilers. No spoilers in the comments. But, we'll see. I've actually been playing, it's a game called Saga of the Moon Priestess. And apparently it's just a short little, like, Game Boy Color... It's not a Game Boy Color game, it's on the Switch and Steam. But, it's like a Game Boy Color Zelda game, except it's kind of short. But, I'm stuck on the second boss. A little embarrassing, but it's a rotating squid you have to bomb. And I can't get the timing of the bombs to work, so I'm stuck there until I kind of figure it out on my own. So we'll see. I'm sure we'll get it at some point. Are you harassing me? Seem like you're coming to harass me. I just want your experience points, little guys. We are really clearing out this space. We could use it for something. We could turn this into a rave attic. I mean, we'd have to dig out the floor a little bit, but yeah, we could totally party here. Yeah, back to the Moon Princess game. Yeah. I'm hoping I figure out the second boss. Because I got most of the way through the 3rd dungeon and realized I keep seeing bombable stuff, so why is there... I got through the 3rd dungeon somehow, and looked it up, and it turns out bombs are in the 2nd dungeon, and I skipped the 2nd dungeon, so now I'm there. And I can't beat the boss, so that kind of stinks. Yeah, if I manage to beat it before next time, I will definitely give a more nuanced review, I guess, of my feelings about this game. I appreciate any game that isn't like totally messed up and scratches my itch for classic Game Boy Color shenanigans, I guess. I don't know, man. It's just that is as much as I hate retro games with all my heart. And I mean retro by, like, explicitly, like, impressively, not impressively, implicitly? Exclusively. There we go, that's a word I want to use. Exclusively, like, the NES, and the Sega Genesis, and the Game Boy Color, and the Game Boy in general. You know, like, there's games that are wonderful on all of these systems. But there's also a lot of jank and a lot of lack of quality of life, especially with the Game Boy games. Like, you play the original Pokemon, you play Gen 3 Pokemon, you play any of the DS or 3DS Pokemon, and like, it's really hard to go back. It is. It's so hard. Why'd it take 3 gens for us to be able to run? Oh my god. That's kind of my issue with Game Boy games and Game Boy flavored games, is like, give me a run option. Mario's had it since 1980 something. There's no excuse to not let me run. Hey buddy. Get slaying. You're gonna be an issue too, aren't you, friend? Yeah, that's pretty much my biggest criticism of Saga of the Moon Priestess so far, is there is no run option. Unless I'm dumb and haven't found it. That would be really funny. And also it does subscribe to a lot of the classic old 2D Zelda tropes, which is cool. I love that. I love it when I explore and I actually find stuff. Like, more games need to have like secret dumb dungeons. Like, I found a secret duck dungeon and it's only like 3 rooms, but you get a hammer. I don't know what it does, but I got a hammer. And I got to talk to ducks, which are, apparently they are plotting something. They're on like stilts too. I don't know if it's stilts or if they just have like long legs when they're not pretending to be like ordinary like fowl. Like when they're just outside and being normal, they tuck their legs in. And when they're like wearing hats and like plotting evil deeds, they've got their long legs out. I don't know. Yeah, I appreciate the ducks of Saga of the Moon Princess. Spoilers. Spoilers if you haven't played the game. The one thing, 2 other things that kind of bother me though, are I did have a thing happen where by slightly messing up a block puzzle, I got trapped in a block, which stinks. And it's fine because you can just quit, and then you go back to your previous save point, and that's fine. But also, like, the way it saves is pretty weird because, like, you restart at like your save point, the priestess statue. But like, I think it auto saves because I definitely had keys that I wouldn't have had like from the last time I saved. So I don't know. Don't quote me on that though. Don't try to like beat the entire game and then don't save at all and then find out it doesn't do that. That would be awful. Don't lose your game progress on account of me. But also, I do dislike the UI. It's kind of just there. Like, the thing with the Game Boy Zeldas, their UI surrounded the screen. The screen, not the scream. The screen. So it wasn't in your way at all. And you could always say like, oh yes, B is my shield, A is my sword, B is my item, A is my other item, because I have to do a very specific dumb thing. Whereas the health bar and the item you currently have, and you only have one item. You can only have one item because the other one, like your spear is permanently attached, so that's cool. But it's like if we've got other buttons, like we gotta assign them to stuff. And there's no reason to be totally in love with the retro thing, you know? We can do it up. We can, okay. Can I? Nice. No! Not me. Not like this. Yeah, that took a while for it to actually burn me. Good for me, I guess. Hooray. Yeah, that would be my, like, game dev tip, is if you have stuff that's on the screen, try not to have it block the screen. Or if you have a game that's all about exploration and, like, finding secrets, don't have your UI stuff block parts of the screen. I don't know, like, make it transparent, make it smaller. Like, I never notice it in Zelda, and the hearts are always there. The magic bar is always there. I don't know why I don't. Why don't I notice that for Zelda? Like, I'm thinking about it, it's like, isn't that stuff in Link's Awakening, like, kind of in the way? Huh. At the same time, I think it's because your character is so small and everything's so small in the world. Where, like, the little bit that's blocked by the UI doesn't really matter. Whereas the health bar and especially the item thing, they do take up, and it's not that much space. It's like probably what, 1/30th of the screen. Like, it's not a big space, but it is something I notice. Like, what if there's something behind there? And it never is. There never is. So I need to turn off that part of my brain that's like, what if there's something in the corner? Like, the only thing you find in corners are jars. Jars and clumps of stones. That's it. Oh, did we? Yes, we did. Can I do a thing? I can't. None of the stuff I have will fit here, will it? Dang. Okay. And how much? We got 18. We will see if we can get all this netherrack before, or we'll see if we can break the pickaxe so we can grab our magma cream before we fill up our whatever. There we go. Perfect. And that only took a half hour to fill up our inventory. Hooray. Oh, hooray. My sister has been rereading my old volumes of Bleach, and she's been giving me updates as she gets through it. Like, there's a part that always laughs whenever she says something that's like, yeah, you're not the first person to have that opinion. A lot of people do. Wait, yeah, we could grab the other netherrack. That's probably not an issue. We got a lot of wood and we got a fair amount of stone. Okay, cool. Like, I don't know. I appreciate it whenever someone's reading Bleach and they're like, it should have ended when Aizen was defeated. And it's like, yeah, maybe. You're gonna get a lot of lore dumps, though. That will explain the world a little better if you just keep reading. But I don't want the lore dumps. I just don't want... I don't want to be stressed out by the Fullbringer shenanigans. Wow. It's raining. When was the last time we saw rain? I don't actually remember. I don't know. Was that thunder? Oh. Probably shouldn't be standing on top of a tree if it's a thunderstorm. But I'm not hearing any thunder, and I'm not seeing any lightning. I thought I saw lightning. I might be lying, though. It might just be a little bit of a goof, you know? Let's see if we can't get to bed and go to bed and... boop. We'll put the bed away this time, and if we have, oh yeah, I forgot about my... Oh, is that maybe one of the reasons why? Yeah, these are kind of too cool to waste in the lava world, if we're being honest. Goodbye. Goodbye, skeletons. It's not my plan to deal with you today. And back to the Nether. I feel like if we can fill up 2 boxes today and then fill up 2 boxes next time, that should be fine, right? I know we have 5, but... I mean, ideally we'd do 3. And then next time we fill it up, and then... Come on, let me up. Send me up, please. You know, it'd be a really messed up idea for an Animal Crossing-like game, but would actually be kind of fresh. If you made it so it's kind of like the island of Dr. Moreau. You guys know that book, movie, series, whatever? So in any case, this mad scientist called Dr. Moreau, after being discredited by scientists, buys his own island and does his sick experiments all alone on this island. His experiments basically are turning animals into people-like creatures. Whereas in pop culture, it's assumed that he turns people into animals. It's the other way around. He turns animals into people-like creatures. And I think if you made an Animal Crossing-like a game like that, that'd be kind of neat. Where you're uplifting random animals you catch or find or whatever. That'd be kind of neat. I feel like you'd have to do it in a way where it didn't seem really unfortunate though. It's an interesting idea, but it definitely does spit in the face of cozy, wholesome fun times, I guess, you know? I don't know, it could give the players the ability to customize their villages as much as they want and their villagers. And never have anybody live in your town that you don't like because you make them yourself, literally. You love the ducks? Just keep harassing the pond fowl. You like hamsters? Go into town and keep buying hamsters up. Dogs, cats, easy enough. Take them right off the porches of the people who live in real towns. And I think to make a game like that, you'd have to have the setting have multiple towns you could visit in game. You'd have your own settlement that you're filling up and trying to build with people, with the people that are animals, you know. And then you'd have an actual human city or town that maybe you came from, or that's close enough by where you can just do whatever. You know? I know, that's kind of a neat idea. I don't know why I keep making... Well, I don't know why you keep trying to get in my way, buddy. You can... There you go. Get out of here. Yeah, all of my ideas for an Animal Crossing game are really morbid. Dr. Moreau crossing. An idea of you're a criminal and you're sent to an island, but it's also an island where other criminals live. And the trick is just to stay alive. It's got that play every day, you can do a little bit every day kind of vibe of Animal Crossing, but The blatant horror of it all is like you're all bad people, and you deserve to be on the island. But some people are worse than others, so good luck figuring out what's what before you get murdered. And I think it'd be really funny if he used like some sort of like dumb like basic instead of having like custom characters created by like me, the dev or whatever, it would just have like a variety of like faces and body types and like hairstyles and clothing, and it would just mix and match. And then like give them like random names, like just give them like word salad horror names, you know? I think that would be kind of neat. I feel like trying to set up something that isn't really like procedurally like generated, but is like as close as you can get, would probably be a lot more work than just making a bunch of random characters, especially if we could just copy and paste random features. I don't know how 3D modeling works, how creating a 3D character functions. So I'd have to learn a lot about that, I suppose, if I were gonna go down that route, which I don't think I will. Seems like a lot of time and effort. And then I recently, I fell down a rabbit hole of learning what is it? Horse race test, I think is what it's called. And it's like all these weird videos on like Twitter or whatever. I've only seen what people have to say about it. So I don't actually know what it, like I've seen some of it. Like I've seen the parts of the videos that like YouTube essayists have talked about. But that's pretty wild stuff, and that's also a really cool idea of like what a game can be. Even though I think it was supposed to be like an ARG and it's not an actual game or whatever. But like a weird wonky horse derby that goes off the rails. I don't know. Look it up for yourselves if you want any context what I'm talking about. HRT, man. Horse race test. I watched a few essays about it, and now it's an interesting thing, I guess. It's not something I would fall into personally. But it's definitely interesting enough to hear somebody talk about it for an hour. And who couldn't root for people, for horses named things like Jovial Merriment, or, man, what are some of the other ones? There are some real top pick championship names for horses. Like, I think that's something I like about racehorses in general, are their names are always something like, I don't know. Santa's Little Helper, Jovial Merriment. Slippery Buttered Bun. Bit of Dog Walker. I don't know. You gotta appreciate the creativity that people have. They're way more creative than I am when it comes to naming things. Yeah, I also must confess, we're playing this a bit late in the night, a bit late in the day. Not as late as it could have been, but not as early as it could have been either. So that stinks. I don't know if I'm gonna run out of things to say or if I'm gonna run out of things to say because I don't remember anything that happened this week. It's a big old blur. I had insomnia though a little bit, so I did spend a lot of time being frustrated that I couldn't sleep, and then a lot of time sleeping when I shouldn't have been. Or rather, less should have been and more when I usually wouldn't have been. There we go. I mean, if you need to sleep, you need to sleep. That's life. You only get one brain, and it's gotta do what it's gotta do when it's gotta do it. Can't get mad at the body. Gotta get mad at yourself for not paying attention to it. Not respecting it needing stuff. I did play a lot of Smash Bros though. I was struggling to finish up Chrom. He's not entirely done still. I gotta knock out those Chrom versus Chrom fights, and then the fights versus the Mii fighters. Those are always the last things I do. But yeah, it was a slog. I don't know if I just have higher standards. And that's funny because like I'll watch some of these and it's like, holy crap, we use the same move multiple times in a row. Gross. And by high standards I mean like I try to have like the first strike, and then I try to keep my damage below half of what my opponent did, and I try to keep the opponent's damage unless the fight like seems really cool. Like above 100%. I don't know. I try to keep battles short and long just for variety. I don't watch Smash Bros fights, so I don't actually know what people want to see. I just enjoy playing it. Or at least I thought I enjoyed playing it. Some of these fighters, like Richter and Chrom, have really stressed me out because I'm not really that great with them. That's gonna be a consistent theme going forward because we've almost run out of the fighters I'm actually good at or enjoy playing as. So we'll see. But we gotta keep Bowser on the back burner. I like Bowser. He'll be one of the last ones I do, I think. Or he'll be in escape hats for if I ever really desperately need to get a bunch of fights done. Him and Toon Link. They're in reserve. In reserve for a good reason. Yeah, I don't know who I'm gonna play next month. I've got a list. I've got a chart. The chart is literally just the character select screen, and every time I play a character for a month, then I just cross out. I say cross out, I put a big old orange circle above them, so I know I'm done with them and I never have to play them again. Man, we're getting there. It's gonna be another 4 years of playing Smash Bros though. And it's another 4 years after this year. That's the thing that gets me. It's another 4 years after this year. Holy smokes, man. And most of those characters are ones I don't know, sometimes you do enjoy playing a character unexpectedly. Like, I didn't think I'd enjoy Mr. Game & Watch, and that was really fun. Does it suck that he's kind of lightweight and gets knocked out pretty easy? Of course. Does he have a lot of really weird moves and he's kind of fun to play? Of course, yeah, he is. I like Mr. Game & Watch. Because I also like the Ice Climbers. I don't think I'm gonna like Ken and Ryu. Or Terry. I was never like a traditional fighting game kind of guy. And there's parts like, yeah, well, you don't have to play them like that though. And it's like, yeah, but to like fully utilize their skill set, you kind of have to. Well, just enjoy mashing the buttons. And it's like, yeah, I guess. I don't know. Oh, I'm an adult. We can't get away with button mashing. Even if it is unfortunate that I don't really think about what I'm doing it while I'm doing it, so I often get myself into dumb situations that could have been better off avoided. Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, I don't know, Crom is a really weird character to play as, though. Like, and one thing that kept frustrating me was, like, I just kept, whenever I got knocked off a stage and was recovering, like, accidentally, like, catching my opponent and his dumb up loop thing and then launching him down. And it's like, the battle's not done yet. I haven't gotten to do anything cool. Why are you out? So I guess that's a neat thing to keep in consideration with Crom is, yeah, your opponent's damaged at all, you can just up B him out of the ring if you do it right. Just gotta catch him in the sword. And hey, sometimes if you're both in the air above the pit, above the abyss, you know, you do your up B and catch them and they'll get knocked out before you. And that's lucky. I wouldn't consider it ideal, but it's lucky, nonetheless. Oh yeah, that was my week. Struggling to sleep, struggling to stay awake. And being really frustrated at Smash Bros. And then also like responding to my sister as he talks about her experiences reading Bleach. Oopsie doodle, I did a thing. And that's the last one? Okay. I think that should be okay, right? Maybe one more. I'm really bad about counting and being aware of things, so we'll see. We'll see. It seems like we can fill up our inventory in about half an hour. That's kind of nice. No, not more magma cream. I threw it out for a reason. Okay, if we have to get rid of this stuff, though, we will. Filling up the inventory with more Netherrack. Filling up 5 chests with a Netherrack. 5.5. Hopefully we can get 2 done. Oh boy, what a pain. What a world, what a world, what a world. And then there is a game I'm kind of excited for. I was excited for it when I saw it originally, and I don't know if I still am. But it's like called Roofie in the Riverside or Roofie by the Riverside, something like that. It's on the Switch. It's on Steam. It's about like a little cat character guy doing hijinks. It kind of looks a little bit. I want to say like Big the Cat, but I'm thinking about it, it's like not really. But he is like some sort of cartoon mammal creature. So we'll see. I don't know the lore to this game yet. It hasn't come out, I haven't played it. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it's enjoyable. Like, it looked interesting, so that's why I wishlisted it when I saw it a while ago. And I saw on the Switch coming up page that's coming out soon, so that's cool. And I did learn by buying the Saga of the Moon Priestess on the Switch too, that I think, and I could be wrong about this, so this is tentative, that the need to have your original Switch like turn to like be near to turn your downloaded games into Switch cards or whatever. You only have to do it the one time, the first time. And after that, then like that gives your like second Switch, your secondary like main account, whatever we want to call it, like permission to like turn the games you buy on the eShop and the virtual cards automatically. So that's cool. Cause yeah, Deltarune, when I bought it, I had to have the Switch 1 near it so it would turn into a virtual game card so I could play it. The cool thing about Deltarune as well on the Switch is I bought the Switch 2 version on the Switch 2. And according to, and unless I'm wrong, I haven't done this yet, so I could be wrong. It's saying I can buy like the normal Switch version of Deltarune, or not buy, but download for free. So that's cool. That's really cool. I like that. Okay, cool. So let's grab some more stuff that we brought here. Probably random whatever. Or we could get rid of the magma cream and grab another pickaxe. I mean, it doesn't really matter either way, right? I guess we'll be responsible and get rid of our stuff. Maybe we'll bring the magma cream out too. Up, 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 up. Yeah, I don't know. I appreciate that. Like, I'm so used to being screwed over by companies. It's nice when, it's nice, like, I didn't buy the Switch 1 version of Deltarune, and yet I can download it? That's really cool. I appreciate that. You don't always see that kind of behavior in modern video gaming. So, I appreciate it. Now, I could be misreading the situation, and it could turn out that it's not entirely free, but I'm gonna assume if it says free download for Deltarune on the Switch 1, like, that's pretty cool. Please stay away from me. Leaving the Nether. Okay. And then I've also got into, I got into earlier in the week playing is it Game Builder Garage? Is that the Nintendo game that allows you to make games on it? Like, I'm enjoying that. I got through half of the tutorials. My goal for today is to knock out at least 2 of the big chests and the small chest. I think that's what I want to do today. I think that's what we're gonna have to do. And then next time, we'll try to really push it and maybe try to get all the remaining chests done. I don't know. If it takes an hour to do a full chest. That's pushing it. That's pushing it. I don't... If only we were a little more destructive in terms of mining. A little quicker, a little more destructive. Oh, you know what I'm refusing to do? I'm refusing to get rid of stuff. I am... What's the point of keeping all this random garbage in my hands, in my inventory? Let's see, do you have a spot? You do have a spot. You don't have a spot. You don't have a spot. You don't have a spot. Cool, cool. Heck yeah. I really do enjoy the, Oops, that's not what I want. And then we will have to figure out some way to keep the snow that builds up on our volcano from doing that. On one hand, it's kind of okay. On the other hand, it's not okay at all. You know, we haven't seen a gas at all this entire time. I'm not complaining. That's really fortuitous, I would say. It's just curious. It's a little weird. I feel like usually we get harassed by them constantly. Oh well. An hour in and I'm yawning? That's about right. And then let's make a... Well, actually, we got sticks still. Let's not make sticks yet. We're gonna have to grab stones, though, at some point. So maybe... Maybe instead of filling up that little half chest, what we'll try to focus on is filling up at least 2 chests and then getting more supplies. I don't know, it could go either way. As long as we remember, as long as we're aware of what we need to do, it'll be fine. Man, this edge of the wall is really starting to get a little bit away from us, isn't it? Okay. But hey, we're mining this stuff out. That's good. Oh, really? I don't even have enough to effectively make it. There we go. Okay, so we did have enough. And onward we go, mining all the way. And I did watch the Titan documentary, Ocean Gate Titan documentary on Netflix again. I don't know. I feel like the same way I felt the first time, where it's because I wasn't focused on it entirely. I was doing other stuff. So I think it just didn't sink in all the way. It really didn't feel like it was going over stuff. If you followed the Ocean Gate controversies or the Titan implosion at all, like, it's not really going over anything new. So I guess to me, like, I don't know what, and I kind of do understand why there are people still talking about it and obsessed about it. Because, you know, they're gonna talk about it no matter what. Like, they're obsessed. And, like, I'm kind of obsessed too, because I'm still talking about this implosion a few years after it happened. But I'm well aware that I'm just kind of trolling for any new information. And also kind of just reading the room of the people talking about it, because a lot of them are really obsessed people. And some of them are just, like, into it because they mathematically or physiologically want to know exactly what happened to the sub itself. And some of them are a little more perverted in the sense that they kind of just want video of, like, the people in the sub, like, crying moments before they get imploded. Like, I don't know, I get that vibe where it's like, it's people who are really, really concerned about, like, the actual data, and people who are like, actually, let's talk about the people involved, but not in a respectful way. As respectfully as possible, can you please show me the alleged human remains? I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in humanity. So I'm probably grossly mischaracterizing people. And at the same time, that's kind of the vibe I get. It's autistic nerds and sick freaks, you know? That's the people in these Ocean Gate Titan forums. And I'm sure that is a really mean thing to say, because I'm sure it's a lot of the same people who follow, like, any sort of tragedy. Like, people who are big, like, Titanic historians or pseudo-historians, you know, or any shipwreck sinking, any plane explosion. Like, these are fascinating things because they don't happen every day. They often have very unique stories. And they touch on something primal, I think. How, as much as we're inoculated from the random things happening, like, you can't protect yourself from life and physics just happening. As much as we would like to, we just can't. Like, what is biology but just chemistry with a chemistry with a will, you know? What is physics if not just literally anything but applied on a really specific scale? I don't know. But I don't know. I guess to me, I'm most interested in, like, just how the thing was built, I guess. It's always really cool to see the parts of, like, the videos of them, like, assembling it. Knowing like, there's not very many pieces, like, that were built above spec for what they wanted it to do. And that the whole thing is, like, just a mix of, like, really weird ideas. And, like, a lot of it is, you know, Stockton Russ thought he really hit on something. Like, he thought he found gold, or at least originally did. Like, you have this material that's really strong in a variety of situations. Why hasn't anybody made a submarine out of it? And if you made a submarine out of it, could you make a submarine big enough where you could like make a lot of money by sending people to like all sorts of shipwrecks and like undersea touristy spots around the world? And on one hand, it's kind of sad that that will never happen. At the same time, it's way more sad that he killed innocent people for his hubris, you know, for his arrogance, to feed his ego. And at least he was also on the sub. That's a saving grace. But you know, he had 4 other people, you know, 3 of which may or may not have been fully aware of just what a precarious situation they had put themselves in. I guess one thing that really stands out to me though is like, you know, they talk about how it was like, what, dive 83 or 84 was the one where it finally imploded. But you go through and it's like, they called everything a dive. Like there's no list of, and I mean there are people who went through but everything's a dive, but they only had a handful of successful dives to the Titanic. They only had a handful of successful dives in general to like these deep depths. A lot of dives were aborted for one reason or another, either because the electronics of the submarine were faulty, because of bad weather, because whoever was piloting didn't want to, like, I don't know. Like, it didn't really have a big success rate, is what I'm trying to say. Like, if they actually had 80 successful dives, or even close to that, like 60 or 70, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, but if you're, let's be conservative. Let's say you get 60 dives with this carbon fiber hull, and you have to replace it. Like, how many dives can you do? If you're doing a dive every day, like, that's 2 months. 2 months you're spending another however millions of dollars to, like, set up a new sub. Like, I don't know. It wasn't a very feasible thing, I guess. Or even if it could do more. Like, if it could do... Like, in order to be viable, you'd have to have multiple of them anyways. But even if they can only do 100 or 200, like, you're still not getting all the way through the year. I don't know. But yeah, it's wild. It's wild that they started picking up more and more stuff on their like sensors that they put in the sub and then ignored it. I'm just boggled by the OceanGate stuff completely, because you have a bunch of people where on paper they should have been able to say like, yeah, we did have, I don't know, like in reality you have a bunch of people who say they did everything they could, or when they're interrogated or questioned on why they made the choices they made, they blame Russ Stockton pretty much. Which is fair. Like, you know, he was the CEO. He had a long track history of firing people who disagreed with him. He did attempt lawsuits against former employees. Or he actually did sue one of them for bringing the problems he had with the OceanGate's way of doing things public. Like, you know, that's I don't know. A lot of this that's come out just doesn't paint anybody involved with OceanGate in a good light. That's what I'm trying to say. So we'll see. We'll see how things turn out. And those are my feelings on a random internet group that on a random internet like phenomenon that I follow. I don't even know why. Probably because I looked at a few articles back when like the trials were going on and stuff, and we had a little bit new clarification of like what exactly happened, which is kind of cool. It's nice to know that the dropping weights wasn't a panic thing. It wasn't them trying to save their lives. It was just that's how they slowed their descent, you know? Good to know some of the transcripts that have been released were actually fake ones. That's good. Shouldn't believe sensational stuff, but you know, sometimes that's just how it is. But in this case, it wasn't. That's cool. Definitely everybody involved with Ocean Gate at the time of the implosion really doesn't seem like... I don't know. Like, on one hand, I've worked horrible jobs, and, you know, at a certain point, you just stop caring. But at the same time, like, I've never been in a situation where I'm placing people's lives in my hands, and I'm not caring. So I don't understand how you can do that. I don't understand how you can literally hand a random stranger a whole legal document on how they're giving up their rights to sue if they enter the sub. Like, on one hand, yeah, if it's an experimental thing, I kind of get the point. You don't want your company to get destroyed, but at the same time, like, what are the risks? What's the percentage of risk here? Is it like a 50-50 thing? Or is it like 100% it will? Like, I don't know. And before some dictator starts making like fiber or carbon fiber canisters to throw people in to execute them. You know, you apply an aluminum casing on the bottom and throw it in the ocean and let it sink, and you know, if you're trapped there until you expire, sucks to suck. If it implodes, sucks to suck. Deal with your dissidents in a really expensive and needlessly convoluted way. Ugh. If only Stockton Rush saw the silver lining of appealing to the most depraved of us all. I don't know. Also, like, the amount of times that they crashed in the shipwrecks that they visited is wild. They crashed into the Titanic multiple times. Multiple times, and maybe single-handedly responsible for the deterioration of the bow. The stern, it's believed, is just deteriorating because it is. It was in bad shape when it was found, and it's even worse shape now. But yeah, like apparently, like they may have broke the mast on the bow and some railing. They allegedly tried to either get into or view the Great Staircase. So I don't know. It's wild hearing these stories, and it's like, it's also wild because basically everybody else who's gone to the Titanic has made a point of, like, at least on some level, like, acknowledging, like, this is a graveyard. Like, James Cameron, you know, when they found the Titanic. You know, he was all, oops, I'm dead. Maybe not, but that was dumb. That was dumb on my part. You know, like when or was it not James Cameron? Was it, what's his name? Robert Ballard? Is that his name? The guy who was in charge of the expedition? Like, one of them mentioned, like, when they first found it, and I think it would have been Ballard. They were excited, you know, jumping for joy, kind of like celebrating, and then they kind of like, somebody made a comment of, this is a graveyard. And then they did make a note to just be very somber and respectful about everything, you know, they had a moment. Like, yeah. Over 1,000 people died that night. That's wild. Like, there's not a single good way to go when you think about the Titanic sinking. It's pretty shitty ways to die all around. I guess the best way would probably be you're plunged into the water, the icy cold water, and you just have a heart attack immediately from like being subjected to that cold temperature suddenly. Yeah, slowly, and I say slowly, like it would have been, and I'm laughing, but it's an uncomfortable laugh. I'm uncomfortable talking about this actually, because it's something that I've read about since I was a young kid, and it's something that's really just stuck in my craw, boggled my mind that like over 1,500 people died that night in that location. Some of them were trapped on the ship. They went down with the ship. A lot of them stuck in the water, like, and then slowly, and again, I said slowly, but it's a given value of slowly, you know. It wasn't like less than an hour, was it? For everybody to go from screaming and freezing in the water to silence. That's a really striking thing from like the people who left journals or notes about that night. Like, yeah, it really didn't take that long to go from screaming and noise. Like, I don't know, I just remember there was an account by someone whose grandfather or grandparent, I want to say grandfather, survived the Titanic, and afterwards he couldn't attend like baseball games because the noise of people in the stadium sounded too much like or like the noise of people like screaming in the stadium, like, you know, like after a home run or after anything, you know, was too much like the noise of the aftermath of the Titanic. Which is really sad. It's really, and I mean that's how big tragic things always happen. Or not, that's not how big tragic things always happen. That's how surviving an unexpected event kind of leaves that mark on people. Like, it's not that uncommon where a person who is in a horrible situation has random mundane things that they no longer can associate with or do just because it brings them back. It's too reminiscent of what they've been through. Hey, I hear a ghast. Kind of fitting. Oh, let's grab some garbage, shall we? Oh, we grabbed it all. Cool. Then I guess we're taking magma cream this time. Or we don't have to. We'll just do the netherrack. It's fine. That's okay. That's fine. But yeah. And I think that's kind of why I was so interested in the Ocean Gate Titan. It was just because More information about the Titanic. Well, that sucks. Oh, launch out of the portal. Is it? It's nighttime, okay. We will go to bed. And then we will get rid of our netherrack, and then we will continue doing this. For today and next week. Hooray. Oh, nice. I wasn't expecting that to work. Usually it's too light. It's too not nighttime enough. Cool. And then let's fill in this one, I guess. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, this one's... This will go with this one will be next. Gotta remove the seeds, okay. There we go, and let's also grab the stuff. Okay, so if we fall into water, it doesn't activate our ice powers. But if we walk around water, that does. Okay. I appreciate that. I like it when magic works on rules. Okay, so seeds. There we go. It all has a place. Whether we like it or not. And one thing too, it might be a good idea to move the nether portal. Actually, we should have two different ones. We should have like... What would it be, like a north temple and a south temple? Like make little structures for them? I'm not on the portal. Okay. Oh, there's the gas. I see. Fascinating stuff. Absolutely riveting. Also, the kitchen sink in my house is leaking from one of the like sides of the sink. So I'm really glad somebody told me that, but like apparently it's been doing it for a while and nobody's told me, and it's like, okay. That would have been good to know. I guess on one hand it's not like I made it flood or noticed it flooding, so I guess it's not that big of a deal, but at the same time it's like, it's good to tell people things. It's good to know when things are happening, you know? So we got a lot of wood. We're gonna need more stone at some point. So we'll do it up. But yeah, going back to the Titanic and the Titan stuff. It's wild to think that it's under so much water. Like, it is just so deep under there. People have been down there and have investigated it. Like, it's wild to think. The sheer, I don't even know how to describe it. The sheer physics, I guess you could say, in play. Like, the ship split apart and sank separately. And I don't know, it's such a wild thing. And that's not even considering, like, all the lives ruined. All the lives lost. Like, and all the people who, like, the engineers who stayed behind to keep the generators going, the steam generators, right? Like, that's wild too, to know, like, to give the entire ship another minute, another hour, another second of power so that telegrams can go out and SOS messages can go out so that people can see as the lifeboats are being loaded. Like, that's nothing short of superhuman in spirit right there. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not obsessed with the Titanic, but it is definitely a topic I love to learn more about. And I say I love, like, I guess I am obsessed about it. I'd say obsessed more than love. Like, I feel like love's a weird thing to talk about. And in regards to a tragedy where people died, you know. It's a weird thing to say, like, oh yes, I love this topic. Like, it wouldn't be appropriate if it was like a building fire or an airplane exploding. So I don't think it's very appropriate to say, yeah, I love the Titanic. But it's got so much history. There's so many stories so many people's stories. I don't know. Just gotta remember, like, we gotta remember our humanity, and we gotta remember the humanity of people who are no longer here to, like, tell us they're humans, you know, that they had feelings and lives and people they wanted to see again. They had hopes and dreams just like us. They're not to be gawked at. They're, you know, meant to be remembered, respected. Yeah, I think that's probably one of the better ways to look at tragedies is to remember the people whose lives were irreparably changed because of it. Or ended, you know? Ending is a form of change, as unfortunate as it is. Yeah, it's just, especially in the face of when you see like a dumb meme thing, like years that like the years that people died in that spot of the Atlantic, and you have like the stupid little chart where there's a huge spike in 1912, and then that little bump for what was it, 2021, 2022? Probably 22, 23, right? Yeah, 23. Like, I don't know. That's a little gross. Like that over 1,500 people who died in 1912, like, I don't know. It's one of those things where when you have serious people who do research, who can cite sources and whatever, say like, honestly, considering that they didn't even get to fully deploy all the lifeboats, having more lifeboats wouldn't have saved people unless they had a better system of like, or a different system, a more efficient system of getting the lifeboats off the boat. Like if they already barely launched most of their own lifeboats, it wouldn't have changed anything to have more, which is wild to think about. And it's one of those things where it's kind of a situation where maybe the Titanic's unsinkable reputation, but was unfounded, I guess you could say. In hindsight, it was unfounded on its maiden voyage. To say that it was unsinkable. But maybe some of that reputation kind of, because I know there's a lot of reports of people not really know what was going on and kind of acting like, well, this is the unsinkable ship, so we're going back to our room. We're not gonna really care about, like, if it's taking on water, like, it's not like we're gonna sink, right? I don't know. There's just so many random things about the Titanic that are fascinating. It's such a ghastly view of a man-made object when you see the images of it below the ocean after resting there for like over 100 years. There's the ghastly view of how humans act under pressure. And how businesses aren't, how business choices affect lives, like employees' lives in real time. And just how like random things kind of screw over people, you know? Like a lot of the actual like ship people, you know, the captain, the various other positions. I don't know what they're called. I'm brain farting on names of like ship positions. But it's not like this was their first rodeo. So it really sucks that this situation unfolded the way it did. I suppose you could say that, like, in hindsight, you could say that, like, pretty much any situation, though. Yeah, it's a shame it unfolded how it did. I don't know why we're talking about the Titanic so much. Probably because I watched the Titan documentary again, and instead of just, like, spending an hour ripping on Stockton Russ, which we could do. We could spend an hour ripping on that guy. It's kind of easier just to go back to the Titanic, the reason they were down there. Because it is, like, in hindsight, it is kind of gross that, like, we wanted to go to the Titanic so we could earn money because everybody knows the Titanic, you know? It's a word that's in every language, basically, at this point. Everybody knows that ship. But are we going to respect the fact that, like, a bunch of people died? This is the grave site of over 1,000 people. You know, so we're not going to respect the fact that we could potentially increase that number. Like, that's the wild thing. Nobody thinks it can happen to them until it does. I think that's a good takeaway from any tragedy. Nobody thinks it can happen to them until it does. And oftentimes that's just like the mundane version of like a car accident or like a health scare. Like, it's really rare that it's actually like a big thing like ship sinks and takes basically everyone, or airplane explodes, or You know, an apartment building goes in flames and nobody survives. Like, it's really rare for those kinds of things to happen. We've got a lot of safety rules now because we have seen horrible things happen. And it's really wild to live in a time where there's companies paying politicians to try to, like, ease up on all the safety rules. You have a crap ton of adults. I know a crap ton of adults who are really pro certain political movements just because they believe that regulations are bad. And it's like, that is something a landlord would say, isn't it? That's kind of my feelings whenever I hear these kinds of people. That is something a landlord would say. We got to get rid of the regulations. Well, that's what's keeping us all from being rich. We could all be landlords if there are no regulations. We could all be warlords if we all had nukes, right? I don't know. But, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of the take that, the world is too safe, or we're being protected from things that don't matter, and it's like, they do. Regulations are often written in blood. And we can argue about the implementation, and we can argue about, like, the finickiness of some of these. Like, look at California. Like, every time you you see a warning label, there's always, like, the little note of, like, and this chemical is known to cause cancer in the state of California. Well, like, that's just the way their laws are written. And maybe we should be more concerned about, like, what kinds of chemicals are in things. Not to be the guy who's like, yeah, chemicals are bad, they cause cancer, blah, blah, blah. Some of them do, though. Some of them do. A lot of the things we put into our body aren't super fully vetted, or as much as we would expect. And that's not... And usually that's not food and whatever, but it is like supplements aren't really properly vetted. If you're buying any sort of supplement online, or even in stores, a lot of them aren't fully 100% what they say they are. Which is kind of scary. That's a little... Because you expect when you buy something, it's going to be the thing, right? You expect that there are rules, there are regulations. Everybody is trying to be on the up and up. But it's been a very short period of time where that's actually been the truth, where things are like that. It wasn't very long ago where, like, you had food being tampered with to make it cheaper to produce. You know, like sawdust being injected into things, dirt being added to, like, milk or whatever, paint being added to milk. Like, hey, we aren't very far removed from really scary, really shitty times. And if we try hard enough, we could go back to them. That's the cool thing. I don't know, that is the end. That's not even the end goal for a lot of people. It's just like, it's just a bonus. It's just a bonus for the world's most garbage people to drag us all back to a time where we have to have diarrhea constantly because all our food's been tampered with and is, like, nearly spoiled. Time where, like, paint's been added to everything to make it look slightly better. I don't know. I don't want to live in exciting times. That's kind of my takeaway. Less ships crashing and less subs imploding and less bombs being dropped and a lot more boring times. A lot more ho-hums and tisk-tisks, you know? I don't want to live in exciting times. That's kind of my thing. They're neat to read about after the fact, but living them, that's a different story entirely. Although I will say, like, it is kind of neat when you have, like, interviews with people who, like, go down to the Titanic not regularly, but, like, with specific, like, goals in mind. Like, it is really cool that they've made, like, a digital map of the like, almost the entire debris field of the Titanic, so they can go back through and be like, oh yeah, we're looking for these specific landmarks. We're trying to find, like, specific rooms and stuff and whatever. That's kind of a cool thing. And it is really weird though when you, like, see interviews with, like, Titanic researchers, like people who've actually been down there, who are like, I wish we could have seen it when it was still a younger kind of wreck. And it's like, I don't know about that. Have some respect. Finding it 100 years after the fact is, or less than 100 years, but you know, is still a lot. Okay, so we got a crap ton of these. And let's see, we did not fill up our inventory. Cool. So, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that might be enough. Like, I do understand it. Like, there's always that part of you that wonders, like, man, if only I could see this thing I can never see, ever. Because it's gone forever. But at the same time, it's like, that's... I don't know. This thing is a grave site. Remember that. Respect it. Respect the souls that were lost there. Like, I understand your weird human pervert desires, but at the same time, check it, please. Check it before you wreck it. I've also been, and this is an entirely different subject, so if you were really into me just rambling about the Titanic, and also repeating that it's a grave site, we have to respect it, tell me you want to hear more of that and I can oblige. But I've been really getting into ASMR on YouTube. And it's kind of weird because there's a lot of different kinds. And I think the ones I like the most are the ones where it's just like a random person kind of like being a little weird. Like, I think that's kind of interesting. Like, there's this one person I follow called Soft Serafina, and I don't know what's up with her. I don't know if she's like leaning into like people have preconceived notions of hypnosis. So if I treat these ASMRs like as hypnosis sessions and then act like I'm not hypnotizing anyone, like that's kind of a neat gimmick or whatever, I don't know. But she is both like really calming and soothing and also kind of unsettling. So yeah, Soft Serafina. If you're into soothing yet unsettling people talking to you. And then there's a VTuber kind of one called Moob, who's like this little elf goblin, occasionally lady, who kind of just rambles about things and like role plays as like a elf massage therapist or a an elf that's gonna bury you alive. I think that was my favorite one. It was really creepy, but it was out there. I appreciated it because it definitely was unhinged. And then, who else? Are there any other good ones I would recommend? I don't know. I think Soft Serafina and Move are probably the two that I've enjoyed the most so far. I think the issue is, like, there's a lot of people who just kind of, you know, just kind of do the one thing. Like, if they make the like stimmy noises on the microphone, they'll just like tap it with their fingers or like rub the comb or do whatever. And then there are people who talk, but they aren't really soothing, or they aren't really like interesting, I guess you could say. So I don't know. I try to find interesting people. Like, if I'm listening to this stuff, it's while I'm doing something that I'm kind of stressed out about. So I kind of don't want to be stressed out. Well, I don't want this to add to my stress, you know? That's kind of my feelings. And if it's interesting, then that's also a bonus. But yeah, that's been my thing while playing Smash Bros. And being upset about it. is to just listen to a random person online tell me they're not trying to hypnotize me or they're trying to bury me alive or whatever. Very calming stuff. Or another one that's really unhinged is Emma's MySpace. That's a real lady who definitely taps the microphone, definitely knows like all the various like ASMR techniques, and is also like delightfully unhinged and goes out of her way to like make these really interesting like scenarios. So I don't know. It's definitely a hit or miss. Like, there are definitely tons of videos where it's like skip, and a lot of people, the YouTube is really bad about suggesting things personally. So it'll suggest like another ASMR person. It's like, nope, you're too standard. Nope, you don't talk. I'm not here for the tippy taps. And if you are, like, you're gonna love a lot of people. It's not that hard to find the people who are good at the tippy taps. Oh yeah, I don't know. It's something I fell into, and now it's like, okay, this is a part of my YouTube recommendeds, I guess now. Neat. The one thing I dislike about it is it does drown out all of the random like video game music like remixes that I like to listen to, so that kind of sucks. I have to choose. Do I obsess about this or that? And that's unfortunate. I wish I could have them both. Some days, or I wish, and I'm gonna regret saying this, I wish the algorithms knew my brain better so I could just get what I want, what I need now, recommended to me when I need it. But that would require a far more intimate understanding of me by the algorithm than I would ever be willing to give. So, oh well. But yeah, ASMR. Interesting stuff. But I recommend it to everyone? Not really, no. Not at all. But am I gonna listen to it when I'm stressed out? Sometimes, yeah. Some of them are good for that. Some of them are probably gonna stress me out a little bit more, you know? That's just how it goes. We do not need that much more. Cool. We make another trip into the Nether, and then we call it a day. And then we do the exact same thing next time, and hopefully we are done. Done with this. but we'll see. What I'm most dreading and excited for is gathering up lava, because I know it's going to take longer than I would like. But once we start getting the lava added to stuff, it's going to start making this look a lot more complete. So I'm of two minds. On one hand, the mind is it's going to take forever. It's going to be a process. It's going to be painful. But there's also the part of me that's like, but what about once we get it done? When we have lava rivers, or lava pits, or a real live volcano. Things are gonna be swell. And I suppose that is the way it could be. Okay, we're gonna see just how well we get rid of this stuff, and then once we do that, we may go back to the ship and grab supplies, or we'll do that at the start of next time. On one hand, I feel like if I don't do it now, I'm gonna forget, and then we'll have to do it partway through next time. And that would interrupt our flow. So, I don't know, I guess we'll probably, we'll hope we have enough time by the time we're done with this. Let's hope, right? Let's hope and pray. I have a feeling. A little itty-bitty feeling that the next two times are going to be this time and next time are going to be a little bit longer, maybe. And I guess if we can get all the netherrack chests filled up, then that's fine, I guess, you know. That's fine. Another 2 videos worth of netherrack mining. And then it's just finishing up this horrible, horrible long-term project. Holy smokes, we spent a lot of time doing this. Holy smokes, we've irreparably changed up the appearance of the Nether in this place. We have done wonders for mining out this little attic piece. Imagine if we drilled up got rid of the ceiling and then took out the floor a little bit and actually turned this into like some sort of cool place to hang out. That'd be cool. That'd be real cool. I'm yawning now. I mean, it's been a while, so it's fine. Yeah, you don't expect to yawn. Yeah, we've been doing this for almost 2 hours. And I had topics to talk about almost the entire way through. That's pretty cool. I know a lot of it was just talking about the Titanic and the Ocean Gate Titan, but oh well. That's something. In more positive news, I'm really excited to play more Deltarune, but I'm real excited to play more Zelda. I would love to play all the Zeldas on the Switch too. I enjoyed Link's Awakening on the Switch originally when it came out, but it was a little bit weird, so I'm hoping that the Switch 2 update kind of makes it a nice, smooth experience. It's a game that definitely deserves it. And hopefully we see... I'm honestly surprised we haven't seen Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Season remakes. Like, Just do whatever you did for Link's Awakening here. And I know it doesn't quite fit the aesthetic, because they had the toy aesthetic for the dream world. I get it. Link's Awakening is actually an anime aesthetic in real life. I get it. It's only the dream world that has a toy aesthetic. But come on. You had this aesthetic for whatever the Zelda game is. Ages of Wisdom or Wisdom of whatever? I haven't actually played that one yet. Don't spoil that one either. Please. Yeah, I would love to see an Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages remake. And I'm really surprised we actually haven't. Like, that seems like something that Nintendo would like zero in on. We can make 2 games we sold for $29.95 back in the day. We reuse assets we've already made and then sell 2 games for $60 each. And I guess that would be my fear. That's kind of my fear. If they're on the Switch too, they're gonna be both $70 if they did that. Oof. I don't know. Although honestly, they could probably make both of them and then just put them on one cart and call it goodsies. But you know it's Nintendo. And they gotta make us buy the same game twice. Or more times. Like, how many Ocarina of Times do I own at this point? Too many. Too many, man. We've got 2 versions on the N64. I'd like to make it 3. I would love to own a Japanese version of Ocarina of Time. And then we've got 2 different GameCube versions. I've got the Master Quest disc and the Zelda Collection disc. And then I'm pretty sure I've got 2 versions of the 3DS game. I've got the American version and the Japanese version. And then we also have it on Virtual Console for the Wii U. And I don't think I have it on the Virtual Console for the Wii, but I would have to check actually. I would have to check. I don't remember. So yeah, we own a lot of copies of of Ocarina of Time. It's about time for us to play it actually. We should probably play it again, knock it out sometime. I would love to do that. I love Ocarina of Time. I love the N64 games. As somebody who definitely has a strong like hatred of the NES games and certain I say I hate Game Boy games, and it's like, we were just talking about how much you love Link's Awakening, and it's like, yeah, because it's easy. And I say it's easy as somebody who still gets multiple game overs while playing it. But like, yeah, it's, you know, it's not that hard. You kind of just turn your brain off and play it if you want. Especially if you've already done it a few times, like, it's a little easier to do that. I don't think I could do that with Oracle of Ages or Oracle of Seasons. Both of them have, like, random things that, like, require you to, like, actually have a brain. I feel like Oracle of Seasons a little less, but still, they're both kind of weird for that. And I guess that's not a bad thing for a game to expect the player to actually have some sort of, like, brain or skill. You would hope most games are like that in some capacity. I guess not everything can be like Minecraft, letting us mine in the Nether for hours without being attacked by anything other than like magma cubes. I guess that would be my biggest concern with making the space too big. Like, I mean by getting rid of the ceiling and the floor. Is that would allow gas to spawn, wouldn't it? Or are they only allowed to spawn in really open areas and they kind of just drift in the more enclosed areas? I don't know. I don't know how they work. I wish I knew how they functioned. I wish I knew how a lot of things functioned, actually. Kind of cool to learn. It's more than learning is cool. Understanding things is way better. Like, if I could just understand everything, I would rather have that than to learn. As somebody who, like, canonically doesn't really understand anything at all, and just struggles to understand this, like, human world of humans, like, yeah, I would love to understand things. Give me some give me that sweet understanding juice. Yep, and that's how I feel about the whole thing. That's how I feel about it all. We're gonna have to grab more pickaxes. I mean, I should have assumed that, but still kind of hurts. Still kind of unfortunate. We're gonna be here for a while. But all of our efforts today will pay off. Hopefully. Hopefully next time when we're... Or hopefully when we're finally back to placing Netherrack, we can knock that out. Not spend forever doing it. And then also, when we're done with all the Netherrack placing, that's it. We don't have to mine anymore. I know if we had a goal of turning this into a party attic, we'd need to mine all of it, but I don't have the spirit for that. I don't think I have the will. Like, we've definitely made a large cave up here. But we've got a long ways to go to fully mine this area out. And I don't have the patience for it. Of course, I say then, it's gonna turn out that we actually don't have that far to go. Thanks, ambiance. You know, I love it. Alrighty, there goes... Okay. I guess let's get a good view of how much is left on this side. That's a thing. That's a thing we need. Yeah, there's a fair amount. There's definitely more this way than what we've mined, I would say. Oh, maybe not. Maybe it's about... I don't know, it's probably about equal to what we've mined already. Maybe a little less, actually. We've mined out a fair amount. Yeah, I think we may have mined out more than we've got left. It's still a significant amount. Like, it's still... And then we still have to dig this side out and the other side. This also goes a fair amount. And this is definitely more than... Yeah. So that's a fair amount, yeah. So we would have to dig a lot of this out, and we're not going to spend the time doing that. Yeah. Yeah, this isn't becoming a party attic anytime soon. A party upstairs. Not really. Okay, so let's... Let's just do the thing. Alright, so that's all of them. Looks like it. And we've got... We've got 13. So we'd want like 7, right? Seems like a fair amount. Let's use up these 7 pickaxes and then go home. Call it a day, call it a night, call it a whatever. And then move on. Never look back. This is starting to get kind of far away from us, isn't it? That's kind of funny and wild too. Okay. Yeah, I'm not really that tired. I am a little tired. I'm not that tired. More than anything, I'm just... I don't know. I don't know what I am at this point. Like, my brain hasn't heard the sauce. But at the same time, like, what do we even talk about? I wish I was better at segues. Because then we could just, you know, bring up something really kind of dumb and then just segue into another topic. Nice and easy peasy style. Unfortunately, I am a rambler. So I'll start talking about something and then get talking about another thing and then I'll stop talking about a thing for no reason. You know, that's just the way it goes. I should probably have more of a plan. And I feel like I had something else I wanted to talk about, but it's gone forever. Unfortunately. Yep, gone forever. Yeah, hopefully this wasn't the worst thing ever. It is. I don't expect anybody to watch this. I don't expect anybody to watch the next video as well. In fact, I don't expect anybody to tune in the entire time I'm doing this. I'm finishing up this horrible netherrack idea. Because we don't even know what the payoff is yet. We don't know what we're going to be doing on it. I mean, making some nether portal temples would be neat, I guess. Making a Bowser-like castle would be pretty cool. I don't know what would make it out of. But you know, the idea is cool. Alright. Hey, buckaroos, let's continue on. Continuing on. We're also probably gonna want more carrots. Or food in general. It doesn't have to be carrots. I really want to play a game that's like, I just want to play a game that's got like Super Mario Brothers 2 kind of aesthetic, where you can like pick up enemies. Like I would love to play a game that's kind of like that, like 2D side scrolling, except you could pick up the enemies to like tame them. Like if you just held them with you and like brought them, like they'd be like the baby Yosis from the new Super Mario Brothers games, where you could bring them with you and eventually like they'd actually be like tameable. Like, that'd be really cool. That'd be a kind of interesting monster collection game where it's not like RPG battles, it's just, you pick up the enemies you find and you, keep them with you until they like you, and then you can actually, like, use them to, like, get past hazards and crap. And if there are battles, that's cool, I guess. Make it like Joust. Like, just a dumb Mario Brothers inspired arena, and you're just trying to push your opponents out of the arena. I know that's not how Joust actually is. There's lava pits and whatever and other things. But I haven't played Joust in forever. I had a friend where he had a Super Nintendo and we used to play all kinds of games on it, so that's where my knowledge of Joust comes from, if I'm remembering that right. But I'm pretty sure either he or the bowling alley had Rampage. That was a game I never really got into as a kid. And then I know he also had like the Lion King game, and he had a Jurassic Park game as well, but we never got very far in Jurassic Park. But yeah, we played the Lion King and we were really terrible at it. And he had the first Donkey Kong Country. And that's probably the one we played the most out of, I think. We weren't good at that one either, but we played a lot of it. Memories. I don't know, I'm just remembering. Oh, wow. Okay. Build up our inventory already, okay. Fascinating, fascinating. Okay. So it's gonna be tight. Cause that's still. Yeah, I think we're probably going to have to get rid of the one pickaxe, aren't we? Or we're gonna have to drop off something and then pick up the rest of the netherrack and then come back and drop it off. Something like that. Something stupid like that. Okay. Something stupid like that. I don't know. Because yeah, we're dropping all of it now. Okay. We're still going. Pickaxe not destroyed. Now it is. Okay. Fascinating stuff. Okay, let's see. We've got... Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. So we'll come back up for that. Because I know we'll go over the limit of what we can collect if we're not careful. And that's fine. They can drop off the last partial pickaxe. Go back up and grab the netherrack, and then... Heck, you know what? We'll even do that, just so we know we can... I don't think we went over, but just in case. You know, I wasn't really... I'm not the best counter, you know? I'm not on top of this stuff. I do my best, but I'm not really a guy who's known for doing stuff competently. Just the other day, I was all turned around in Luigi, New Super Luigi U, because apparently I had remembered the time before to change the button, which I've been complaining about the entire time. Like, I wish the button, the inputs were switched, so I wouldn't have to hold the buttons this way or that way. See, I was right. I'm smart. I knew I didn't count it right. Okay, let us go back to our base. And then we will gather some more stuff up and call it a day, and then hopefully next time we are just as productive and we knock out all these stupid Netherrack boxes. And then we can jump right back into placing Netherrack and hopefully finishing up this project at some point. At a reasonable point at some point in the future. Like, I would love to have this whole Netherrack thing be done by like video 100, but I don't know if that's possible. I think just having all the Netherrack placed, and maybe potentially... Don't attack me. Don't notice me. Well, at least it's raining. That's always good. It means there can't be any stilt guys, any Endermen messing up our area. I appreciate that. Middling Swamp Outpost. Bump ba da dum bump. Are you chasing me, Twomp? Look at all that ice we could harvest. Straight from me. There we go. Nope, wrong thing. And there we go. We got our 2 full chests and a half chest. And we knocked out this one. The next time we do these 2.5s. And we're done. So hooray. Next time will be another fun, I say fun, another slog of mining Netherrack. And then hopefully, finally, we will have enough Netherrack to finish up this whole dumb thing. I don't know. We can dream, right? We can hope and dream. So I will see you guys there. Thank you for watching me if you have. Thanks for sticking through it. Thanks for sticking with me. I'll see you guys next time. We'll be doing probably the exact same thing. And we'll try to have more topics to talk about. We'll try to put a brave face on it. We'll try to place Netherrack as quickly as possible so we can be just done with this. We'll burn down these woods and figure out what the heck we're doing. Yeah, so that's the plan. Thank you for watching. I apologize that this is kind of a slog, kind of a gross thing. But we'll make the best out of it that we can. and we'll try to be a little more hydrated and a little more well rested every time. That's an intention. I don't know if we'll be able to actually act on it, but we'll try. With that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.